How to play the new Captain Marvel in 6 minutes or less. So here is Captain Sparkles, as I like to call her, and she is a beast, but requires some ramp up and the ability to play aggressive to keep her in beast mode. Her base attack is below average, but her prestige is one of the best in the game at this time. Captain Sparkles works off of binary charges, and binary mode is where she shines. There are several ways to build up her charges. If she is not in binary mode, her special 1 will generate 3 charges, and her special 3 will generate 10 charges. Blocking physical attacks will give her 1 charge, parrying 2, and being struck by energy attacks will also give her charges. However, be careful going up against mystics because gaining charges against them will cause Captain Marvel to take energy damage. After she has at least 10 of these charges, she can go into binary ignition by dashing back and holding block for 1.2 seconds. She can also go into binary ignition when she reaches 25 charges automatically, or if she is knocked down with 10 or more charges. She is great for questing because she can carry over the remaining charges from the end of one fight into the next in normal or binary ignition mode. And for every charge she carries over, she will start the fight with 2% of her max power. So if you take her into a fight with 25 charges, you'll be at 50% power and also automatically go into binary ignition. Once in binary mode, she will shrug off all debuffs and gain a fury for every 5 charges she has. The furies will not drop off as she loses charges, so for her to be at her true damage potential, 25 charges gives her 5 furies. You can add Mcoc to the team to increase the potency for each fury by 10% for maximum damage, and when and if you lose binary charges and go back to normal mode, you will also lose the furies. So the name of the game is to keep the binary charges. They drop off at a rate of 1.2 seconds each, so playing aggressively is the best way to keep charges and carry over as many as you can from fight to fight. Adding Nick Fury will add a second to each charge, allowing you to keep them for 2.2 seconds apiece. Once you're in binary ignition mode, the only way to gain charges is by throwing your heavy, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to keep the charges against stun immune champs because parrying and throwing heavies is one of the optimal ways to keep her in binary mode. Using a heavy attack will grant you 3 charges when in binary ignition. Now, countering an opponent's heavy with a heavy will stun them for 2.5 seconds, allowing you to get in 2 more heavy attacks for a total of 9 charges. Her heavy attack is a very short range, so timing it can be tricky. Her special 2 will also stun the opponent for 2 seconds in normal mode and 3.5 seconds in binary ignition, allowing you to get 2 heavy attacks in easily and picking up 6 charges. However, this attack will cost you 4 charges, so you will net only 2. Also in binary ignition mode, the beams are unblockable, and this special has true damage, ignoring any armor, and is the hardest hitting special. The special 1 will grant you 3 charges if you are in normal mode, but will cost you 2 charges in binary ignition and is also unblockable. However, there is no reason to use it because it consumes charges and gives you no real benefit over the special 2 while in binary ignition. Her special 3 gives you 10 charges when she is in normal mode and a 10-second power gain buff for 40% of her max power in either mode. She gains an indestructible buff that will last up to 12 seconds, depending on her signature level when awakened at the start of binary mode, as long as you have at least 20 charges. If you are hit by a special while the indestructible is on, you will lose it and half of your binary charges. After the indestructible buff wears off, it will go on a cooldown of no less than 40 seconds at max seg level. If you add Rogue to the team when she enters binary, she will also become unstoppable for 4 seconds. Her signature ability is awesome, but not necessary for her damage output. However, it can come in very handy when going against champs or nodes that cause damage over time because the indestructible buff will negate that damage. Her basic attacks have a 15% chance to armor break the opponent in normal mode and a 60% chance in binary ignition mode, even hitting into the opponent's block. You can also get a 100% chance to armor break your opponent if you intercept them, making her great for champs like Iron Man, Infinity War, and Emma Frost, or pretty much any other tech champ. If you add Ronan to the team, she will gain a plus 150 critical rating buff. Now, playing Captain Sparkles in a quest, focus on binary charges until 25 is reached through either parrying or using the special 1. Once 25 charges is achieved, go into binary ignition, gain the 5 furies, then the objective is to stun your opponent through parries and the special 2 and use heavies to keep the charges up, with the goal of finishing the fight with the most charges possible. When using Captain Sparkles, make sure you plan out your path so you know what fight you will need to go into binary ignition in as soon as possible to get the indestructible buff when needed. Now, the Masteries I think that benefit her the most are Stupefy to extend your stun, allowing you to get in more heavies, Pacify is also good for the amount of stuns you do in a fight, and Despair for all the debuffs that you do. She is also very suicide friendly because of her poison immunity and her ability to shrug off debuffs and to negate the damage if she is awakened. But that's it. That is Captain Marvel in 6 minutes or less. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. How do you play Captain Sparkles? Will you play her in binary? How do you get her in binary? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye!